So Konsti, make sure to start the recording, okay?
It's running already.
Perfect.
I don't
So-
warn you guys.
Please go ahead and download the latest changes, because I just pushed something and I want you to try it out, because the multiplayer works now, at least the basic functionality. Don't try to open the inventory though, it just doesn't work. It will freeze your game. By the way, Konsti, please show my features for me.
Okay.
Problem
1 second, yeah.
Problem is still that I can't showcase the features and talk at the same time, because I'm lacking the hardware
Yeah, it's okay.
for it. So this time we do it the other way around, where Konsti showcases my stuff and I comment on it.
Bro.
Because it didn't go so well last time.
Yeah.
And I told JD to comment for me.
Oh no. What do you want me to
Okay.
comment on?
Okay, Liam or JD, can some of you or somebody write down the recap for today? It's a bit tricky to do.
Okay.
To do while I show now. I made a site
I
already.
can do it. Okay.
You can just
Why is log in?
it's under meetings, and then there's for today. Okay. Then I'm gonna screen share. Give me a second. Okay. And did any of you watch the recording from the weeks before?
Yeah.
Okay. You good with it, Liam?
Oh yeah, everything's good in there.
Okay. And JD, did you decide if you want me to cut out the code for the states or not?
I don't really care.
Okay. But we cut out the other thing which you said for the one podcast. I would cut this out. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna screen share. Then you can talk, right, Max?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Okay,
right.
so what did I do this week? Mainly the multiplayer. I was messing with Unity, with Netcode for GameObjects, and we were trying to. We are now using that package. It's a package provided by Unity. It's also the most basic multiplayer package you can get. All of the others, they give much extended functionality. I'm not sure we need right now. So the reason why I picked this one is because it's easy to get into and it seemed intuitive. And that turned out to be true, even though it's still tricky to just program things in it, because as JD also found out, you need a specific perspective on everything to be able to handle it. And there's some bugs in it, at least for me, where sometimes when I'm starting two clients, or let's say when I'm starting a host and a client, the one of the two has the older build, the previous one, and one of the two starts the latest build. And so one is running on the latest code base and the other one isn't. And I found that out way at the end when I implemented the first couple of features, and had already spent hours on trying to debug specific errors that would come up with this problem. And then I realized at the end, oh damn, most of my errors just came from the fact that I immediately started testing without realizing that the player was still running the older builds. And so these errors, they have accumulated from older builds, but they are not really there in the latest version anymore. And so yeah, that was kind of a downer to find out. Also, it doesn't seem like many people are having this issue, because there's not many people complaining about it on the internet. So I'm guessing this must be very specific to my system. I'm not sure though how it works. Okay,
Yeah.
But either way, we're here now. It works, and let's try it. So Consti, you can see on the top, you can see a bar that says default right next to the play mode. And what you can choose here is two different options. So first of all, you could choose 2 players or 2 players debug. 2 players will start one, like, will Quatsi, make sure to click on that. 2 players will start 2 instances of the game, one as a host and one as a client. So the connection will happen automatically for you. You don't need to do anything, you just need to start it. And so the host will be the editor window, and the client will be the separately opened window. So let's see how that works.
Just takes like 2 minutes for compiling. No, what? Okay.
Now the 2-player mode takes a bit longer to compile than the debug mode. So I would say if you're just working with it on a daily basis, use the debug mode instead. Also because the debug mode will give you more insight into what's happening, because with the 2-player mode, the normal 2-player mode, the separate window you're starting does not have a hierarchy, or at least doesn't show the hierarchy. Whereas with the debug windows, you can actually see the hierarchy of the other client, the object hierarchy of the other client, which is helpful with debugging everything. That's why I call it the debug mode. So basically, when you're dealing with multiplayer issues, or when you're trying to debug something, use the debug mode. And if you want to test production, test how it looks when it's shipped, then you use the normal 2-player mode. But as you can see, the normal 2-player mode takes lots of time to start, whereas the debug mode should be way faster than that. So yeah, you have 2 players now, which connected to each other. And as you can see, both of them, they are synchronized. If you're moving, make sure to move, Consi. You can see it on the other player too. Oh yeah, can you?
I can't move this one. I don't know right now.
Okay, make
this one I can do.
Make them side by side. Make them side by side in Windows. Oh wait, this is not Windows.
Oh.
Wait, can you?
We can do it.
Yeah.
Like this.
Like
I don't
that.
know.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as you can see, if you're moving, everything synchronizes pretty well. Also, there's that one effect, JD. You know what I'm. You know what I will talk about now, where when you are turning the player and you are seeing the player turning on the other client, it looks like it has a cool effect to it. It looks like you're actually a piece of paper which is turning. That's because that's really funny why that is. It's because when you're turning, we are just scaling the player's x-axis to -1. So you're basically scaling in the opposite direction. And there's different modes where you can use to transmit position information over the network. And basically, you can choose between interpolation and not using interpolation. And interpolation is good for movement, because when you're moving without interpolation, then it will look a bit, how do you say this? It will just look bad, because the player will not move smoothly. It will move like in different time frames, and that has a very, very odd look to it. Whereas when you're using interpolation, you're constantly, while you're updating the positions, the player will interpolate between these positions, so smoothly transition between them, and that looks really good. But the side effect of this is, because it's also happening on the scale factor, and you're basically switching from 1 to -1 in an instant, and it has to be interpolated, it will be, it will look like that because of the interpolation. It will just happen, like, it won't happen from 1 to 0, from 1 to -1, but rather it will progress over time from 1 to -1, and this is just how it looks then. We can't, as of now, there would be a way to change this, but I just didn't do it because I think it looks okay. I'm probably just going to keep it in for some more updates and then at some point switch it out. Okay, so another thing I did was program like that. There wasn't really much programming, rather finding things out. Find out how to make it so that depth is actually recognized. So when constantly walk behind a plant, if you're walking behind a plant, then you're actually behind the plant. And if you're constantly now walk through the plant, what usually happens? Yeah, what usually happens is it would look like the plant is actually rendering on top of you, and that would be bad, right? If you had done it in a way where the plant will always be on top of you, because if you're standing there right at the root, it would just look very bad. But I found the right option for it in Unity to just set that, and then it works like that. Works like a charm. So this is also one thing I did, and then I did lots of bug fixes actually. So there were a couple of things I wanted to do back from the other weeks. I didn't finish all the tickets that I collected up until this point, and I will still take some with me in the next week, but that's going to be fine. Also, I am currently trying to fix the inventory because I broke it. In between sessions, I somehow broke it in between the network sessions because I was pretty annoyed by some weird thing that was happening in relation to trying inventory out in while on a network. Okay, so another thing that will always happen now is that when you're starting the game is basically starting a server, no matter if you're trying to like, it doesn't matter if you're trying to connect to someone, it will always start a server. And so even if you're just playing alone, you're still communicating with a server. You're not sending over packets over a network, but you're rather sending them locally, but you're still kind of connecting with the server. And if we're doing it that way, that is going to be a little bit easier because we don't have to differentiate between single player code and multiplayer code. We could just program everything in multiplayer. And if you're doing single player, it's kind of like a simulated multiplayer. Okay, but that's technical stuff. Don't want to get too in depth here. Another thing is, which I did was create or at least adjust the raccoon, which is going to be the mascot for the game. And I think it looks quite nice. What do you think about its height?
It's pretty good. I think any bigger and it would start to look weird.
I think it's from the
okay,
height.
so you're for making it bigger.
No. I think the height's good. I mean, I think if you make it even bigger than it is now, then it would start to look weird.
Yeah, makes sense. I was thinking the same. I was kind of worried that you wouldn't like it because it's too small. But I'm currently working on I'm trying to improve the zoom, and I'm trying to find a zoom level that's adequate. I think currently the zoom level is far too zoomed out, so it should be a little bit more zoomed in. And then everything will look bigger, and the raccoon will look just fine, I guess.
I mean,
currently I think it's too small, but again, that's because of the whole perspective. It's just you're just viewing too much on the screen, seeing too much right now.
maybe we could do you want like an option for zooming in and zooming out, like with the mouse wheel or something, or do you want like a fixed one?
Yeah, I would prefer if right now we did a fixed one, because turns out that it's really, really hard to zoom when you're using pixel perfect rendering. I mean, it's basically impossible to zoom when you're doing pixel perfect rendering.
Mhm.
But we could make it possible by finding some tricks we could use. So for instance, things I thought of where maybe you could have a motion blur for the zoom levels you can't actually reach. So the problem, let's talk about the problem first. The problem is basically that if you're rendering pixel perfect, that means that that pixels are not being compromised for the format, you could say. So what usually happens when you view the game through a resolution that is not supported is that some pixels will get squished, whatever. You know what I mean?
Same thing, yeah.
They will look smaller than other pixels, even though they basically have the same, like internally they have the same size. And this will make for a very odd-looking effect where either the game looks blurry because of that, or probably I'm guessing it's because of anti-aliasing. But even if you turn that off, it's still looking kind of blurry. Or it's just like the characters, they will look like they're smashed together, like the faces smashed together sometimes. Like it would just look bad. And so what you want is for the pixels to keep their ratio while scaling. But the problem with that is if you set that as your constraint, then you can't actually show any resolution because it just doesn't work in any resolution. It's just mathematically impossible. And so you can only show a couple of resolutions, and this is actually very little. I think in 1980, like 180p in HD resolution, there's only 2 smaller resolutions you can actually show. Like like for a normal screen, there's only 3 different zoom levels we can actually have. That 3 different zoom levels that are mathematically possible and look like they show anything. I mean, there's probably smaller ones, but they don't show anything. And so again, we need to find something to do when the player wants to zoom, and I actually want the player to be able to zoom smoothly. But again, probably something like motion blur or something. Let me just think of things, but it's probably not going to happen next week.
Do you want like a Factoria style zoom or Factorio, where you
I didn't
just
play
like
it. What happens there?
it's it's very much top down, and you just like you can zoom out pretty far. I don't think we would need that far, but like yeah, it's very much base building, so the zoom mechanic is just so you can see like a lot more of your components and stuff.
Okay, so you're not asking about the style, but rather about the fact
Like,
that you can zoom out pretty far.
yeah.
Okay, I would say no, not too far. It's
Okay.
just not adequate for the type of game we're making. You don't need to get an overview of everything that's happening on the ship. Or let's say maybe it would be helpful, but still I would say we should provide this to players because it's gonna be a chill game. If you're zooming out to see things, then you're probably not playing it chill. you're probably
Yeah.
what's it called? Micromanaging.
Micromanaging.
You're probably micromanaging
Yeah.
everybody.
Couldn't
Yeah.
find
So I
an
guess
adequate
this
one.
is probably the farthest you will ever be able to zoom if it was up to me.
Okay, yeah. That's good.
Okay.
Probably even more narrow. What's up?
So, and you also made the raccoon. Yeah, you made the raccoon itself, or was it last week already?
Yeah, I think I made the raccoon last week, but I also I created some limbs for it. So I made a skeleton, and it can actually move. And the cool thing about this is you can reuse the player animation. So I did the player animation in a way, and the bones in a way where they are reusable, and which is not actually hard. It's like you don't really need to pay attention to many things. But if you press on the raccoon, and now go in the animation tab. Wait, why is it not showing any animation? I don't. Oh yeah, maybe it doesn't have an animator yet. So click on the raccoon and add an animator to it. Click on to the right, add component. It's in the inspector, Conci. And then add an animator. And now in the controller, add the player controller.
This one?
Yes, this one. Yeah, right. So before you started, I want to quickly explain how this works. So the animations, they are looking for specific nodes, specific game objects that are connected to your or that represent your bones, right? And what you can see here is that this skeleton does have some of the bones I used for the player, but is missing others. For instance, left, what's it called? Left talus, left carpals, right talus, and right carpals. These are bones that are missing. That's why they're indicated yellow. And the others, they are there. And so animations, they don't care if some of the bones are missing. They will just animate the bones that are there. And the way, like, I think this is kind of geniusly done by the Unity guys. But I also think this is standard practice in general. Where through that you can reuse animations and try to see or check if they work, like the animations you already made work on other things. So now, Consti, go ahead and click on the start the player walking animation on the raccoon. No, this is the idle animation. So as you can see, I didn't make that. I just made it for the player, and it works for the raccoon as well.
Huh. That's cool.
So yeah, that will allow us to make very much content in very short amounts of time. I mean, basically, if we're just making bipeds, then you could just make one suite of animations, let's say 30, 40 animations, and you could reuse them with anyone if you made them the right way. That's the only thing you got to take care of, making them the right way. And to that, like, what belongs to making them the right way? Well, the skeletons can't be too far off the original ones, right? But that's the funny thing about it. If they were too far off of the original ones, then probably the thing you're making is also not looking natural, right? And so
Yeah.
as long as you keep it looking natural, and you're taking a little bit of care of positioning the bones right, you can't make anything wrong with it. So I think that again, this animation system by the Unity guys is kind of genius. Like, it works really good.
Yeah.
Okay,
Cool.
All right.
try another animation though. I didn't even look at the other ones. Try dashing. I want to see that. Oh yeah, okay. That's just that, and then yeah, I think the
idling. Idling is like nothing. But he should, for the idle, he should maybe move like this and then back to the normal one.
yeah. But I think, guys, have a look at this. This looks like something you could actually sell, right? The raccoon.
Yeah, sure.
Plushies, yeah.
No,
Definitely.
I don't mean plushies. I mean, like, in general. Like, this looks legit. If you ask me, I think it looks good.
How did
Yeah,
you
it
make?
does.
Like something like you could
Mhm.
give to people and have them play the game, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So
Okay.
this is part of what I did. We also, Consti and me, we also brainstormed titles, very, very many titles this week. Let's look at them together. So two things are clear already there. We found two good acronyms we're definitely going to use in the game. Consti, scroll up again. So the first acronym will be NOVA, which is National Orbital Vegetation Alliance. It could be the government, like the name for the government, actually, because this is basically what they do. They send people out to the orbit to make the grow crops, right? And I think it has a good ring to it. So, JD, you didn't say anything. Are you not convinced?
I think it's good. I mean, I don't really mind what we call it. I think it's good.
All right, okay. Then we have Orbiter, which could basically be the name of the spaceship if we don't want to name it special, like give it another special name. And it is also a good acronym for exactly what it is. So
An outpost for resource based
also,
by interplanetary trade.
yeah. Also,
Yep.
in a moment of spiritual clarity, I was also enlightened to call us the konntest du scroll up, the Raccoon Collective.
Let's feel about that one.
Good.
Yeah, Max, Max and me, like 10 minutes ago, we were like, how do you explain this name without being racist? I don't know. It's, I don't think so.
Okay, so
Scratch this.
just
The
to make
Coon
it
Collective.
clear, it's definitely not meant in a racist way.
Guys,
well,
there's an asterisk under that. It just says not racist.
Yeah, and the biggest
maybe-
problem, the name comes from a German, right?
Yeah. Okay, maybe something else.
No.
But yeah, I just thought it sounded good. Okay, so then we have, and for me this has lots of symbolism because wait, how did I can't even remember how what the symbolism was. Nice symbolism, right? It doesn't. I
With
don't
the
even
animals,
remember it.
you explained, I think, the three animals.
Oh yeah. So, but yeah, I think that I would have to go on a large tangent just to explain this. So maybe do this another time.
I don't think it's important. It's okay. Yeah, and another name. I don't know if you want. I think.
So
you
we
brainstormed
have a look at all the names. Like we made so many names.
So we have still the Heaven Sent Home. We have still the Starbloom, Vespon. We cut some out as well. I think there was the Void shit thingy. I don't know.
We made up like 50 or 60 names this week. We cut many of them out again.
Wow.
And yeah, we still have the Hope Among Stars thing. The Hyperbloom, we thought maybe we could use it for boosting plants. So like there's something you can boost the plants and it's called Hyperbloom. Like, I don't know. Like,
fertilizer.
Yeah, some fertilizers or maybe something else which you can spray on them. Then I think I brought up Ocularis. It's new. Odyssea is new. Cosmea, it's actually one which I had today. It's I found out it's a plant, and it's
this one I like really much.
Yeah, I think it's a good name. Even if we don't take it for the name of the game, maybe it's a good name for a planet as well. I think Cosmea sounds like a planet.
Cosmea should be the Latin word for universe, right?
It's something like this. Or galaxy.
Cosmos, yeah.
Oh yeah, cosmos. And in the same time it's a plant. It looks like this. Like, and they have it in different colors as well. I don't know. I had no idea why they call this the cosmos, but that's how it looks like. And then we have, I mean, Beyond Kelvin is new. I think it's from you, right, Max?
Yeah.
I think.
Basically something with Beyond, like a mixture of Beyond and a unit of measurement or something like that.
The Jack of Spades was what again? I forgot it.
Jack of Spades is just Jack of Trades but with spades.
Okay.
Jack of all trades with spades.
Yeah.
And we have something like Biogenesis, but this sounds like an action movie. I don't know.
Yeah. But I think this
not
one's
bad,
one of my favorites actually because biogenesis is basically what you're doing in the game. It means synthesizing new life from existing life, and so this is basically like the theme of the game.
Yeah.
Then we have some more, and the one which we also like a lot is the one down, Cosmic Cultivator.
Ooh.
Or a Cosmic Cultivar, like one. I mean, this is the person who cultivates, and this is the plant, I think. If I remember correct.
No, cultivar is a mixed word of culture and variance or something like that. So it's not. It is related to plants, where a cultivar is some kind of plant that it was cultivated for a specific reason, like cultivated by humans, I think, for a specific reason. So let's say in 1930, people cultivated lupins to make them edible and as a good protein source of protein. And so that would be a cultivar probably, a cultivar in that sense. And also, you could probably apply this term to cultivate like cultivation of your relations to other planets, maybe.
And it's an alliteration. A double C.
Yeah, I was, and it's and I like alliterations. Did you know I like alliterations?
But I think it has a good sound as well. Like, I mean, Cosmic Cultivator, also not bad. It's a bit long.
I think cultivator actually is a bit too long.
Yeah.
So cultivar is a little bit better.
Mm.
But they both don't 100%. They both don't 100% give me this is the final name of the game vibes.
You like the Cosmere more. But yeah, I don't know.
I like Odysseia for like this starship's name or the spaceship's name.
Which one?
Because it sounds like Odyssey.
Odysseia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If like the beginning or some spaceship's name was called the Odysseia, I think that'd sound pretty nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it came up with, I mean, obviously the Odysseus thing, and then I just mixed some letters, I think.
I think the problem with that is that this is very often, like this name appears very often.
No.
Something with Odyssey.
That is true. Yeah.
No.
You hear that very often.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean these ones, I think they're from last week. The Philrexes and Virelia and stuff. Also Farah.
It's not like planets.
Yeah, it's I. So you know, the week before we talked about how games come up with names, and these titles. I just thought about how can you make like one specific name for something, you know, like or one specific name for the space station, or let's say a planet or something. Yep. That's how these came up.
What do you think, JD? Did any of these impress you?
It's hard to tell. It's really difficult, I think.
Yeah.
I do like some of them.
What?
But I do like some of them, but the one I don't really like, but that you like is cultivar, because nobody knows what that is.
Yeah.
It'll be like, what does this mean?
Yeah, true.
Where the cheapest one I wrote Max, but he was like, no, you can't use this. I was like, Seedman.
This is like
I kind of like the name.
This is like a term from Rick and Morty.
Is it? No, I didn't get it from
I think
there.
they actually used this somewhere.
Yeah, but Max was like, no, we can't call it Seedman.
I kind of like the name though.
I said anything but Seedman, please.
That's the player's name. That's his.
No, is it
Seedman?
Is it Seedman with 3 N's?
I think I wrote it just
what
like
that's an insider between me and JD.
Triple N. Okay.
No, with three A's. With 3 A's, because that's what I was called back when we played Grotopia.
Seedman.
I called my one of my first usernames on the internet was Epic Man with 3 A's.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, but these are some of the names. Maybe I can continue because I don't have that much for this week.
Wait, I can give you lots of stuff to do.
Oh, it's not like I didn't.
No, I'm serious. Like, do some more marketing research. We need that more than the title.
But we need a title. That's the thing. We need a title at some point to make a lot of the things.
We're wasting the whole time on a title.
Yeah, but we need a title. Don't you understand?
Title will come to us.
Well, yeah, but we can't start with marketing the game without a title. I mean, or should we just say
no? But we can
nondescript game.
We can make like a project name. We can start with how you always do it, Max. We call it like a nut, you know. We call it walnut game. I don't know.
Project EXP.
Project Nutty.
Project Pistachio. This is Project Pistachio for me.
Pistachio, okay.
Why?
Because
he was eating pistachios when he first started.
I call all my projects after nuts. So I already have Project Cashew and Project, I think, Cashew and Peanut. And I had, I think that these were the only ones, Peanut and Cashew. And then Pistachio. Okay, never mind. So yeah, we should definitely find a title. Maybe next week.
Would be good at least. Okay. You're done, Max, or you have more? Not sure.
No, I think that was it.
Okay.
Oh yeah, next week. Wait, let me just say what's going to be done next week by me. And maybe like I put this up for discussion. So one thing I want to do is I want to get a build pipeline that will automatically start tests for us. So I want to be able to find out when I'm releasing a new feature if all the other features work, still work. Because sometimes I already encountered this issue. I was pushing a feature, and then I realized like all of the other, even though that one branch works, all of the other, not branches, but all of the other scenes, they don't work anymore. And I don't want this to happen regularly. So I thought of making a very, very small test pipeline, just testing the very essentials, like moving and doing like specific actions, and create a build pipeline that will automatically start, so that whenever you push something, it will be automatically tested. It's like when you previously visited GitHub pages, they sometimes have this up where they're showing if their last build was successful or not. And so we would probably also be messaged if it's not successful. And I also want to do this because this is basically what I worked in before I started this game, in test automation. So I know some like one or two things about this, and I don't and trust me, I don't want to spend much time on this. The other thing I want to do next week, and this is going to be the main thing, is make a showcase for the actual splicing mechanism. So I want you to be able to splice seeds to make new trees. That demands some trees to begin with, and I want to showcase that we can actually make the trees progressive. So procedural, not progressive, procedural. So they are being generated randomly, and I already thought of ways to do this this week, and I found some ways, and I just want to test these, and I think this is going to be great. So let's just bear with me on that one. Next week we're going to see procedurally growing trees, and that's going to be the shit.
All right. Okay.
Go.
If you're done, Max, then I think
Yes.
I will talk
Excellent.
about myself. It's not that much anyway, so I worked on the names. And I started with the health bar stuff, but it's not done yet. And I made a new page under marketing for, where is it? For the conventions. So this took a bit more time.
Oh my god.
I checked out all the conventions like in Germany, Austria, Switzerland, so around Max and me. And I checked out some in England and in USA. And I put down the links and the locations and stuff. I was not sure, for example, for you, Liam. I mean, you don't have to say it now because of the recording, but I was not sure how close you are to which of them. So for you might be tricky. But in general, I mean, the biggest ones, I marked them a bit with like I made them bold. So the Gamescom is very big in Germany, or maybe in general. So I made the category from the location, right? And then I ordered them by the date when they start. So these ones are I think look at this one. This one starts tomorrow. For example. So I ordered them by the date.
I can't even be there anyways.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's okay. I put it down anyway, maybe if we want to go next year so that we know maybe that there's a GDC.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all, like, for example, here there are also some which are over already. Yeah. And
expensive for a booth.
Yeah, so for example on the Gamescom, right? So it's the biggest gaming event. It's also I think the biggest convention, at least for games.
In German. in Germany.
No, I think it's even worldwide the biggest. It's
No. The E3 is bigger.
the E3 doesn't
E3 in
exist anymore, I
America.
think, or can correct me, but I
Wait,
think the
the
E3
E3
doesn't exist anymore.
It's still taking place this year.
Is it?
Wait, let me check.
I don't think it exists.
It was cancelled.
Yeah, I tell you, it doesn't exist anymore. And I think the E3 is only for publisher, and the Gamescom is for everybody. But I'm not sure.
Okay, so this might be the biggest. Okay.
And I
Right.
checked. Yeah, you can buy a booth. It's €3,000, and that's basically in the indie area, like 1 meter
3,000 for
basically.
indie games?
So it's
Holy
like
Yeah.
basically 1 meter space, 3,000, and if you want a bigger one, it costs 5,000. I think. Like if you want a few meters,
I don't-
5,000.
I
Like,
think at indie,
how
if
much
you're paying
recognition,
3,000,
like, would our game
So
get? though,
Max
if
and me
went
were
to-
on the Gamescom 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I mean, there are people definitely going by the indie thing, but like I mean,
Okay.
there are still thousands of people, obviously, but it's not like you're on the side definitely, like with the 1 quadrat meter thing on the, like you're basically also the booth. So you can't buy the booth by yourself. You have to basically they have companies which have these places, and you have to apply to these companies to get a spot. And not everybody who applies gets the spot. So it's not only about the money, it's also about the quality of the game, kinda. So they decide by what they like, if they give you a slot or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, we have to be aware of the fact that I just watched a YouTube video, and the guy put up some statistics which showed that you're not really making more money off of having a booth on a gaming event. So it's more for making connections, and it's more for business relations rather than advertising your game. So there's statistics on the net where that seem to show that it's like it does almost nothing to the game if you're doing a convention. Like no popularity gains at all.
So, and I also checked, like normal ticket is like €80, and if there are even business tickets, so you can go in the backstage for business stuff, maybe that's an option if we just want to network. It's like between 90 to 150, but you have to submit. But I'm not sure if we applicable for it. Like, I don't know if it's enough to have an idea and stuff. But I have the link for it.
I guess right now. Nobody even has the money for it, so it's not.
I mean, I have the money. I'm working. I can buy myself a ticket for 150 theoretically. It's okay.
Theoretically.
All right.
I mean, I would be willing to do it for us. It's not a problem. But the question is if we think it's useful or not in the end, basically. Yeah. And
other question. How about we harvest Liam's study funds?
I mean, so when you're a student, you can, for a lot of these, you can get half the price. Actually, funny enough, but I mean, the problem is that JD needs the fucking flight, so that's like triple the money. I think that's the bigger problem for him.
Yeah.
And also, I found something else out. So there, before the Gamescom, there's the DevCom, which is basically, like as you can see, like the day before or 2 days before the Gamescom, and it's on the same spot, and it's basically a convention only for the developers. So maybe that's more interesting, but their ticket costs starting 500 to up to 2,000.
Damn.
But that's not worth it.
It's
not do it.
But it's actually the biggest networking thing for developers in Germany,
Right.
at least. So it's,
I think in multiple countries, honestly.
Might be worth it, might be not, but it's quite expensive, definitely, because it's I mean, it's for businesses normally.
To be honest with you, like when I would say, let's just not put too much energy into finding a publisher through going on conventions and all that stuff. I'm not really for that, because first of all, I think our game is good enough to stand on its own feet. So I wouldn't even right now. I don't even want a publisher. I think it will just be better off without one, especially when you think about that a publisher will also set the constraints, and will set you limits in a way where they don't allow you to do certain things you could just do if you're working on your own. And so I would rather say, let's just try to make it on our own with a funding page like Kickstarter.
But maybe why this convention could be interesting as well. So, for example, this one here in Bavaria, it's also interesting maybe because of the funding. So I saw that the convention itself is funded from the state money, and I told you there's like the thing where we can maybe apply for where we can get some money from the state.
Yeah, that's true.
It's actually funded from them, and it's also quite cheap. Like for 3 days, it's 119 euro. Like for all of the days, it's 119. So it's not that expensive compared to the others. And also something like the cactus thing in Leipzig is also not bad. Similar. Also there are some. So maybe we don't have to search for a publisher. Also, maybe it's also good, like just for the outreach, so that people heard the name of our game. But for this, we need a name. But and there are also some online ones. So, for example, here in the USA, there are two. For example, the Indicate. It's in fall at some point, and I wrote on till 14th of April we can submit our game, and it costs like $80, and then they kind of like they rate it and they rate it and they show it on the
That's cool.
on the Indicate. Yeah. So they are, or the Summer Game Festival. I think this is way too expensive, but I'm not sure they don't have pricing online for it. No. But you can check it out. And in USA, I think for you, Liam, the GDC is the biggest one. And then they have the PAX thing, which is, I don't know, they have a PAX East, a PAX West, and a PAX Oz. The Oz, I think, is not in Australia, but I'm not sure.
Austin, Texas, probably.
Yeah, okay. And for the others, I wrote it. This is in Seattle, and this is in Boston. Yeah.
Okay.
And the one in Boston has a pricing. It costs $275. And this one is not online yet. It just has a date.
Huh.
And we can also apply for like a showcasing at least, and they have an email there. Big sales. Doesn't say a pricing as well though. No.
Bro, I think this is way too like nobody will do this. To be honest, like $257. Do you have that, Liam?
This is a normal badge to go there.
The game? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Maybe later when we have a lot.
I wouldn't blame you if you didn't do it.
We sent Liam, we give him the like cards from our company, and Liam has to talk to literally every. We print like 1,000 cards, and he has to get rid of them all in the 3 days or something.
I mean, like maybe once we have like a beta, I guess, or late alpha.
Yeah.
Then, like, I think that'd be worth it. But
for sure.
Yeah.
But I wrote it down, so maybe for future reference.
We need for the future.
Yeah, maybe for future reference.
Yeah, that's true.
But Gamescom we
need
will go
for the time when we're already making a good game and we have some popularity and we're just trying to extend our reach and find new people to network with, find new people to maybe even hire, something like that.
Max and me, we decided though we go to the Gamescom now.
yeah, that's true though. We are going to the Gamescom anyway this year.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
How expensive are the tickets?
80 euros, I think.
Yeah, I have it here around 80 euro. You can't buy them yet. I checked.
Okay.
But I think they're around 80 euro, and then normally, depends if you need a hotel, but we can sleep there again probably. But the parking is also like 15 euro a day, so.
Yeah, I can sleep in my car.
And that's 80 euro for 1 day. So if you want all the days, it's each day 80 euro.
Oh my god. That adds up.
But last time we just went 1 day and like checked out everything. We went on a Sunday, it's not that full, not as full.
Wait. I think it's time for story time. You know what happened? Konzi, do you remember what happened last time when we went to the Gamescom? So Konzi and me, we were driving. How many kilometers were it?
From 300 or something.
Bavaria to
maybe
Cologne.
300.
Yeah, something like that. So we were on the road for at least 4 or 5 hours, and when we arrived, I didn't have a ticket. I thought like, because I knew from earlier visits, it was I think the third time that I went to the Gamescom, that people are just standing in front of the building and asking others to buy tickets. So I guessed that it would work, right? And to sell their ticket, because they couldn't get it last minute. And so this is what I did for, I think, an hour or so. I was just randomly asking everybody entering the building if they could sell me their ticket on the last day. And I was about, like, Konzi was already in. Konzi was already in there and having the time of his life, seeing new games. And I was standing outside of the building and desperately trying to convince somebody on the last day to sell me their ticket. And
I checked out Starfield.
I was about to. Huh?
In the meanwhile, I checked out Starfield.
Konzi was checking out Starfield, yeah. So I was almost giving up when there was a family father who sold me his ticket, and then he told his daughter that they can't go to the Gamescom because he lost it.
Oh,
bro!
What?
Bro! Holy fuck!
Wow,
that's
Max
insane.
Max is a home wrecker.
I'm more like the dad.
I didn't even know this. You didn't even tell me this, Max. What the fuck?
The dad was looking for an excuse.
It's actually a little bit different, but I don't know how to say it in English. So
Okay.
he said, like, he didn't pretend like he lost it. He said, like, I think he said, like, he said something like, this is for the greater good.
Bro was looking for an excuse.
I told him that I desperately want to go there, and they already went like the last 2 days. So it's not like, so it's fine, yeah, right? His daughter, he is going to be fine.
Oh, but you didn't tell the story that you met the dude. So, like,
yeah, I met a dude who sold me his ticket, and I even, like, he could have told me that he wanted more for it, but he wanted the actual price, like 50 euros and something like that, from me. That was great. A great guy. Cool. I was ready to spend like 200 euros on that back when I had money. But he just gave it to me for 50.
That's
crazy.
Don't you remember the dude which you met before outside, and you asked him if he can get you in, and then later he was on the stage, the streamer dude?
Yeah. Okay, so right. So there was another guy getting in, and I asked him, and he said, nah, but actually hit me up when you're inside, because because he was this. We went into a little conversation about what he does, and he was like streaming on stage there, and
Genshin Impact.
Genshin Impact, and when I got in, the first thing I thought about was meeting up with this guy, but I forgot which stage he was. And then I actually met him inside again. Like 5 minutes in, I just saw him on randomly standing around somewhere. And then he told me, like, he was also very surprised about this. And he told me where he was streaming later. And then we got Konzi's girlfriend what was not an autograph, right? It was the bag. Was like just advertisement material.
Like a goodie bag, like a goodie bag from the game. And the thing is, normally people had to wait like 3 hours to get it. And we just asked the dude, because he was on the stage. We asked him, "Yo, can you give us one?" And then he gave us one like a few minutes later. And then we skipped like 3 hours waiting.
Because I met him from before.
Yeah. And then then as a thank you, we purchased him a Red Bull and brought it to him.
Oh yeah.
And bro, the Red Bulls are €5 there or something.
Ice cream, right?
Or cola?
Wasn't it ice cream?
Or Coke?
Wasn't it ice cream?
No. Or both? No, we gave him something to drink. 100%.
Yeah, we gave him something, and he was pretty happy about it. He seemed like he was dry.
They left him dry on the stage, yeah. Okay.
So yeah, we had an adventure there.
Yeah. I think other than that, I don't have much for this week. Yeah, I'm still on the health bar. Soundtrack I didn't do this week at all. Yeah, I don't have much more to show. Yeah, maybe
Alright.
the next one of you can show. JD
What
or
about you,
Liam?
Liam?
Yeah, I can go
I
next.
can't wait to see your spaceship, Liam.
Uh-oh. It's done. It's done. But,
Is it done? Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Nice. Show me.
Okay.
Show me what you
So,
got.
obviously, well, done in quotation marks because there's no exterior
Yeah.
tiles. This is just
Yeah.
interior stuff. Whoops.
Yeah. Right. True.
The
That's exactly
plexiglass.
what we said, right? What we wanted.
Yeah. Okay. So all the border tiles have the yellow line around them.
Mhm.
These are supposed to be wall tiles, but they're too close to the floor tiles. I gotta fix that.
Okay.
So this is the cockpit.
Mhm.
This is the drop zone. I made like a kind of secondary tile from the main one. Doesn't look
Okay.
nearly as well. These are where the doors are supposed to be. I also made a door asset as well. It looks like that,
Mhm.
and it just goes
Okay.
like that. But obviously it's not animated or anything, so I can't put it there unless it doesn't have any collision.
Mhm.
These are whoops. These are what
Don't touch the wall.
I'd fixed itself. I don't know what happened. These are the hallways. These are what the hallways look like. They got.
Mhm.
I probably need to make that look nicer. But you have the
To be honest with
dark.
you, I like them. I like the way they look.
Okay,
I mean,
good.
they're nowhere near finished, but or polished, but I
Right.
like them.
Yeah.
Because when I also made some floor tiles, and I struggled with even thinking of things to draw, because I was like, anything I could think up, like anything I could think of, I was like, that's probably not in a spaceship, right? That's probably somewhere else, but not in a spaceship. What's even
Right.
in a spaceship, in a futuristic spaceship?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
hmm
go on.
Yeah. I just tried to keep all this stuff simple because I'm like, there's no way. These are all 16 by 16 tiles as well, and there's no way like you'll be able to see all the little details on the tiles.
Yeah.
This is the kind of the main area. You have uh your health and cybernetics over here. You have your upgrade areas for like your armor and weapons right here. Uh, right here you have the monster shop. I don't know what this is. This is the map of that Wang drew a while back. That's on the Confluence. I copied it
Yeah.
over.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think Wang wanted to exclude the monster shop.
Oh, okay.
You
We can
should
delete that
just
then.
yeah, you
Yeah.
just no, I'm joking.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
This is the sleeping quarters. I kept it small because there's only like one or a couple of you in the beginning. As you upgrade the ship, it can get bigger. And this goes straight into the farming area with the indoor and outdoor farms. This crap. This goes so the main area goes into the lobby, which goes into the entrance, which goes into the docking area down here. Yeah, and then this is the government zone right here
Mhm.
with the phones right here. It looks fine when you're up close. Just don't zoom out, because I wonder what it looks like.
I think that's okay. I've seen
Yeah,
worse.
I think it's too small actually. Like from the
it is a bit small.
dimensions. I don't know. It feels small when you walk in it.
Yeah, I might need to make it bigger
Yeah.
once we start like adding stuff.
Mhm.
Because there might not be enough room.
Yeah.
Depending on
Yeah.
how much like furniture and interior
And-
design we add.
And also the question is if we want all the rooms to be like perfect cubes, kind of, or no, not perfect cubes. If we want like if we want them like this, that they are like having 4 corners each of the rooms, or if we want them more roundish.
Okay, yeah, I see what you mean.
But
What
I
do you
mean, for a
think?
basic map, it's nice. I like it a lot. The tiles and stuff, it's nice. It's cool. Definitely.
Yeah, and I mean, like, we don't have to keep this shape too as we upgrade the ship. I mean, if we have different ships you buy or just upgrade the same ship,
Hmm.
the ship can change shape as well.
Or I'm still thinking about the elevator thing. Like if we should make multiple levels and elevators, but you wanted them on one level, right? Because
I didn't say any of that. But maybe late game, I don't know. Depending on how much more like features we add that go in the spaceship, maybe an elevator would be nice.
I think we had the discussion.
Yeah,
I think
maybe JD should voice his opinion about this too.
Yeah. But I think if I remember, JD, you had this thing with the submarine, and you, Max, said something about a realistic ship. Remember? And if you think about like a cruise ship or something, they have like 20 levels. You know?
Yeah, but by the way, I gave up on the idea of doing it more realistically.
Okay.
Because I figured I would just start to pull my hair out at some point when arguing with you about whether or not we need a monster shop in the game.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Now, JD, sorry. Go.
Well, the different level things, I think don't put too many. I mean, there can be like 3 levels, but like the more you add, the more tedious it gets.
I think we should only add levels when the first level starts to become a labyrinth, and there's not really a main area where you can get to most of the other areas too. You know, when you start to have to go through like 5 separate rooms and hallways to get to your desired location.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Then we can add more floors.
Or maybe to make it feel more alive, if you think about the Stardew thing now, think about it. You know the bus in Stardew?
Yeah, kind of like teleports you to different locations, right?
Yeah, maybe we can do something like this, like a speed lane or something. I don't know. Like these, maybe these.
Yeah, like have a rail line inside the spaceship.
Yeah, or do you, do you know Futurama, where they have the pipes?
Oh yeah.
We could do something like this.
Yeah,
like the transparent
true.
pipes and like which suck the person from one point to another. Now that I think about it, could be good. It's like a fast travel system, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you're right with that. We should maybe only do it if it's necessary with the levels. Maybe we can really do it without any levels. I mean, it doesn't make the game better.
Right. Yeah. The levels themselves make it a labyrinth.
I think we should talk about the orientation of the spaceship. To my mind, it would be better to have the spaceship face the horizontal axis, so opposite to what it's now, because it's way easier because the screen is usually has more width than height, and so you can see more on the screen if you're making the spaceship horizontal instead of vertical.
Yeah. True. No.
What do you think, JD?
I don't really mind. I think either way is fine.
Okay. Then it's settled.
Yeah. Cool. I call this ship the Vibradio because it looks like a vibrator.
The Vibradio.
Vibradia.
We need a bottle of champagne, guys.
Yeah, true. For Vibradia.
Yeah. That's I did a little bit of work on the stuff I didn't finish last week, but mainly I fixed the problem with the pistols. But I gotta just finish the art.
Yeah, all right.
I forgot what I want to do next week, by the way. If you're still writing, I think who's writing JD, right? So the health bar. I think the health bar is the first thing, like to finish it. What else? Wait, what did I had last week? Can you see, JD? I think there were like 5
So
things
we
in
had
it.
last week was
Convention. The
uh
soundtrack is in there.
health bar scaling, winter soundtrack, creating accounts, floor design, research convention feature. The end of the week, cutting 2 videos about boss and dodge animation.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, video cutting.
but it does make sense if we don't have a name. Like, I need a name so we can make
Okay,
content. We
Spend your
need.
whole next week for finding a name.
But
finding a name.
We have this. We wrote this down last
Vibrato.
week. I mean, we can listen. I mean, we can make. Should we just make a project name just for now? Like, should I just create accounts
Guys,
with the project name?
I don't think we need a name. So one of the reasons why I wanted to give us a name as a collective, and why I invented that White Raccoon collective name was so that we can actually create accounts, because we don't need the name for the game, and I wouldn't even start with an account that is named like the game, because it will definitely look more interesting to have a generic account, or let's say an account that is not named after the game, which also gives some more depth to the thing we're doing.
So we need a studio name.
Yeah, something like that.
Please
but
don't close the Coon Collective.
okay.
Cool games.
But okay, so the other thing was that we could also market this game without a name. There's lots of people on YouTube programming games which they don't have a name for yet. Like, look at any YouTuber who's programming a game right now. They're always just saying the game, not the name. Bro, nobody has a name for their game.
Yeah, all right. Okay, but then we should think about a name for the studio, like kind of like, or like, yeah.
No. We should make it so official, because it's also going to be hard to find a studio name. We should just call it something random.
Okay.
Yeah, we should
NCC.
definitely.
Somebody has a name.
White Coon Collective.
Coon Collective. I like that.
Was Coon Collective?
I'm pretty sure that's quite offensive.
Maybe we should call. Okay, maybe we should
call it Grey Coon Collective.
White with something with C, so that we have 3 C's in
it. Cider Coon Collective. Cyan Coon Collective.
Cool Coon Collective.
Seed Man Gaming.
Seed Man Gaming.
It's a reference to Green Man Gaming.
Mm-hmm. Who the fuck is Green Game Gaming?
I think it's
a Green Man Gaming
store.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it's like a store for games.
All right. Yeah, but maybe let's put this at the end and continue with JD stuff. And maybe for me next week, then put the 2 videos. So I cut the 2 videos.
Okay.
And then you can continue with your stuff, JD.
I don't really have much to say this week. All I've done is I researched a decent amount about netcode. And like I realized that reading the documentation is actually going to be quite difficult. I was following a tutorial. I'm like 1/3 of the way through the tutorial. Like implementing the player and another player to join. Like just messing around with netcode stuff.
Maybe you should just do something else entirely.
Why? Like isn't like learning about netcode stuff part of it? Because it depends how I structure the game as well. Like yeah, I want to finish my tutorial. I want to finish my the tutorial I was following, so I get to the end of it.
All right.
And I don't know what I want to do.
That's bad. You should know what you want to do.
I didn't know what I want to do, but like like I never get to finish any of my systems, so like
Hmm.
I don't know whether it will be worth continuing onto a new system or finishing an old system.
So what do you want to finish, or what
do you
do you
mean
want to
by
make?
you never get to finish your systems?
So like the inventory, it never got fully finished. It was like it exists, but like it's kind of usable, but it's not finished. Or
Who's
like
to blame for that?
I know, but I don't know if I should finish it or rather move on to a new thing.
You should move on to a new thing because the inventory system is already overhauled by me.
Okay.
Okay.
But you should definitely focus on the system for once.
Mm-hmm.
If you've never done this type of thing before, like finished anything you did. But maybe you should just finish the network stuff, the network tutorial right now, and then do something that's connected to network, maybe chat.
Mm-hmm.
Quincy, what
I can
did
do
you want to say?
No, I just I think JD, just choose something which you would like to do. So maybe finishing the tutorial from the multiplayer, and then pick one more thing if you want, one more system which you want to start it or start working it.
I still need to fix the bugs in my state machine.
Yeah.
It should, like, one of the bugs is I didn't cross the animations over from the previous one. I think that's the solution to what I've done, but I just haven't done it yet.
All right, then fix this if you think it's important. If you need to do it, then do this. I think the thing which you wanted to say, Max, is like that it's good if we make more systems in it, right? So we get kind of like the bare bone done, right? So the more systems we implement, the more you can actually do, even if it's not perfect.
What are you talking about?
I think one time you mentioned to me in a talk that like we should focus more in bringing the prototype together by focusing on the functionality more, like, you know, on the systems itself.
Yeah. I gotta admit that I'm kind of but what's the word? I don't really know if what we're doing right now is productive enough to be shipping a prototype anytime soon. But maybe it's the way it must be, because JD is right with what he's saying, that if he has no clue about networking, then he's probably going to have a hard time, and we all are going to we are all going to have a hard time because we just have one person who can actually implement network code at that point. And so he should definitely read up on it, and it takes the time it takes, right? I can't tell him like be quicker about it, because it just takes time. That's just normal. And so I kind of think it's okay the way it is right now, because at least everybody knows what they want to do and what they like have to do, and I could always just put in more hours and try to push this forward quicker. But it's good that you're mentioning this, Consti. So let's just put one last effort in to emphasize that we need a prototype, guys. Without a prototype, nothing's going to work. If we don't have a prototype in 4 months, we are bound to drop the game, because it will inevitably happen, because motivation will be low at that point. We haven't gotten anything like majorly done up to that point. But we did, however, try, and we tried for a long time in 4 months, and it's just going to be very, very depressing to find out in 4 months that we took too much time learning new things. We took too much time trying to solve how to solve bugs, instead of focusing on progressing the game and getting these systems in. But again, one of the systems will definitely exist by the end of next week, which is the splicing system. And this is the first kind of open system we have, which is not very limited in the sense that you know when you've done it all. There's always more things to try in the splicing system. So that's probably going to change something. I guess let's see what happens after that. Like what if it makes sense, like if the prototype will be anywhere near then, and see what JD,
do you wanna say more, or are you done with your stuff? I didn't want to
I
interrupt
did
you for
make
too long.
something, but it's not finished. Like I was working on a piece of music just casually throughout the week.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to work on a bit of composition.
You want
I
to
don't
show
know
it?
if I should
Or
show it
you
because
want to show it later?
it's not really. I can show it now. Do you want to see it? Like it's not
Yes.
like it's only like
Sure, let's
a
go.
few seconds. It's not that long.
Let's go.
Okay. I think Liam's already heard it.
Was it the?
It's just a piano piece. I was just trying to
Oh, okay.
practice my composition. I just want to know what your opinions are on it. Okay, you ready? Can you hear this?
Yeah, we can hear.
Yes.
Okay.
This is a sad one. For me at least.
This is for when you're sitting on the toilet. For me, at least.
This is like some sad memory from Earth.
Yeah. From your last shit.
The last time I saw my parents, they were shitting.
I don't know whether to keep the tempo at this slow or speed it up in the second part.
Well, for a slow type of song, it's good.
I think you should leave it slow, probably. I mean, depends what you want to use it for.
But to be honest, I think it's like how do you say this? I respect that it must have taken you a long time, but I think it sounds kind of dull. It's missing something.
It's only piano.
Yeah, it sounds like it doesn't sound as polished, even though the others probably weren't polished either. But it doesn't sound as polished as the other songs you already presented.
I think it's because it's just different type. Also, like that it's.
Yeah.
As JD said, it's just one instrument. And
yeah. But there's also nothing recognizable in there. Like with other piano tracks, you would immediately, maybe not recognize something, but you would immediately find it very harmonic, many parts. And I didn't find any part in that harmonic.
I think it's situational. Like it depends where you use the music as well.
Okay.
I think so too.
Like music could be like like menu music. It's not supposed to be like crazy.
Yeah.
Like, it's just I was just practicing my composition.
Yeah, true. Okay, so next week JD is going to deal with network again, trying to implement the chat and also composing some more stuff. Consti is going to deal with some more marketing questions, whatever that may be, and probably maybe also composing. And I mean, what else did you want to do to
I will create the accounts. So because we said we agreed now that we just will create the accounts. I will create the accounts. I will make the health bar. I don't know. We will discuss it in a minute. Okay. So I will fix the health bar, or finish the health bar, not fix it. And what else do we have? The 2 videos. I think that's enough. Probably. I don't think I can do much more in the week.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Works.
And okay. Yeah. I think I'm done. You're also done, JD. I don't know if you have more.
I'm done.
Okay. So then, if you want, we can think about the name now.
Oh yeah, by the way, Liam, thank you for making the spaceship. I found that I found it really good. That was exactly how I imagined it.
Good.
What are you gonna do next week? I just forgot.
I was thinking of doing something with crafting maybe, but I don't know if we have enough yet to do a crafting system. If I could
nah.
No?
Definitely not. We should you should focus on something else. Maybe you could do me a favor if you were doing some more animations. Okay. That's something you could easily extend on. It's not going to take that much time, but it's
Yeah.
going to be really cool to have like some animations, because we could use this in the weeks after that to make cutscenes. Because to already prototype some of the story. And that this could also be done by you over the course of the next week. This could be like a reoccurring thing where you just do cutscenes. If you like to do it, right? I'm not forcing you to do stuff you don't
I can
want
try
to
it
do.
out.
All right, yeah, then try it out.
Do you have any specific ones that like you want done first?
Okay, so write it down. Sitting,
Oh, hold on. Sitting. Yep.
cheering,
Mm-hmm.
then pointing,
Yep.
eating,
Yep.
maybe the typical emotions. So I want something that makes it look
Okay.
like you're in fear. Something that oh yeah, by the way, holding, I don't know what it is called, but if you hold your hands on your hips, like
Oh.
you're standing
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
wondering, maybe something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you can do a I want sitting in two positions, where in the first position you're actually just you have your leg flat, so the upper leg,
Mm-hmm.
and one where you have them at at a right angle.
Okay. I see. Yeah.
Okay, that should be enough
Yeah.
for
Cool.
now.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any more to add to this?
Maybe like a yes or no.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Oh. Okay. Like do you want like the
I
guy to
have.
hold up a sign or just like nod or shake?
Not
Okay.
Quincy?
Yeah, exactly this. Yep. Okay. The name, guys.
Wait. Okay. Here are a couple. Here are a few.
I put it in general. Let's go.
GCC.
Why? What? I mean, we can
Do we
do
want
whatever
to-
for now.
I think we should try and do it by category. Like, I can think of a few categories, but I can't think of names inside those categories. So, like,
Mhm.
what do you think the spaceship would be called? Or, like, the space shuttle?
But like, I don't want a game name, just a studio name, kind of like how we want to call the
Oh,
channel
okay.
for now. You know, not the game, just like the studio naming thing. Like, I mean, we can change it later on anyway, I guess. But like,
Mhm.
I would stick to calling us a collective. I just like the term.
Studio
Okay.
Coon.
Bro.
Liam's collective.
I cannot think of that not going bad.
No, it's an acronym. Don't worry about it. Coding optimized and outstanding mechanics.
It's mechanics with an N.
Yeah.
Maybe it's anyway a good idea to have the name. So maybe just no, it's okay. Bro, I was also thinking, by the way, if we make a company because of the funding stuff, we would also need a name if we do it. And also, I was thinking if it would make sense, like I don't even know if it, like, I think it's possible to make a company with 4 people, for like 1 from England, 1 from USA, and 2 from Germany. Like, I think it should be possible. But I was not sure if this is better or if we make it like freelancing based. But like, yeah,
That's a lot of paperwork.
yeah, it's anyway a lot of paperwork, bro. Welcome to Germany. I don't know if you were here before, JD, but we love papers. Nothing is digital. Print it out, you know. When you make the company, you probably have to print it out and bring it. Can't do it online. This is Yeah, but so anyway, we need a name for now. Yeah, maybe we don't have to discuss it now with the funding stuff. But yeah, maybe think about it, like how you would think it's better, or like how, like, we have to make one anyway at some point. We can do it later on as well. But yeah,
maybe let's just wait one more week.
Yeah, or like just it doesn't
Give
even have
some
to be a
time
week
to-
or longer. But just think about it.
Yeah, maybe we should make it so that in a way where we are meeting up again on Wednesday, and we're all thinking of names until then.
All right. Okay. So you want Wednesday, guys?
And so
name for the
to get everybody started, try to get like 3 names a day, just ideas, like 3 ideas a day.
All right.
Cool.
Does it have to include does it have to include raccoon?
Nah. Can be
No,
whatever you
no.
want.
And by the way, guys, make sure that you look into Jira sometimes, because I'm also creating tickets for you. I've just created tickets for you this week to find out, like until Thursday, find out things we could record for the social media channels, and we didn't like, nobody did them. So I guess you just didn't notice.
Okay. Yeah, we will check
So make
on
sure
the board.
to have a look at the board sometimes. It's
Yeah.
pretty easy to see your tickets because your image is on it, and
Yeah.
and if you usually just have 1 ticket or 2.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Somebody has anything else?
Conzi needs to go.
No, it's okay. I just want to know if anybody has something to add, or
It
if
sounded
we're
like
done.
it's really urgent for you.
Come on,
No,
guys,
no,
wrap
no,
it up.
it's okay.
Wrap it up.
No, I just wanted. I'm just trying to control maybe the dialogue a bit, that we come to an end, or like to like
Okay.
something productive, you know. To come.
True. Yeah, maybe we should cut the recording here first of all.
Just umming and ahhing.
Yeah. Okay. So if you have nothing, guys, then I'm gonna stop the recording.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye. It was nice
Bye-bye.
seeing you.
Bye.
Though we didn't see you.